Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of For What It's Nerd. Today, we are going to be discussing a lot of MCU stuff. Let's start with the easy stuff first, and then we'll go into Daredevil, of course. So we're going to start with talking about Wonder Man Season 2 that was announced. Obviously, Disney Plus shows, as we know, don't always get greenlit for a second season, but I was really hoping Wonder Man would. It resonated with me a lot. I felt really in touch with Simon Williams as a character and the kind of thought piece that the show was, despite the superhuman side. It was very human itself, and talking about a lot of stuff that people face day to day about creativity and about being seen, and all that type of stuff. So I'm really excited to see what a second season might hold, how that might impact. Are they going to kind of widen its scope? Are they going to keep it quite in the same vein? Are they going to add more sort of actiony parts now that he's sort of like on the run? Obviously, the Department of Damage Control is, of course, aware of him again, like fully now, and of course they're coming into play in Spider-Man. So if they're eliminated, does that change things? Will be interesting to see how that goes. But Damage Control is still big overall. So seeing how that kind of pans out for them, Trevor and Simon in season 2 would be really cool, but also kind of hopefully keeping that acting vibe up and what that was, and kind of pushing that envelope further and still keeping it kind of meta, even though it was something that was really, elevated as well. So hopefully that's the case with Wonder Man. Very excited, very much looking forward to a season 2. I didn't think they were kind of doing season 2s as much anymore. I mean, I know Daredevil season 2 is coming out at the moment, but it felt like they were kind of like tamping down on that type of stuff and trying to like refine their scope. So it's interesting to see that the Wonder Man has been so well received that they're doing a second season and announced it so soon after the first as well. So that's great. It seems like Destin Daniel Cretton. That's also important, is that he obviously worked on the Wonder Man show and he's working on the Spider-Man movie now. So there's potential to have some overlap there with what's still happening with Damage Control, etc. So be interested to see how that links together. Obviously that. And then we also got the Punisher. We saw the kind of the poster for Punisher The Last Kill, which is his special that's coming out. And of course, I'm going to link this into Daredevil. So that's why I kind of wanted this to be like said now, and then we kind of run into that. So they let us know that that's going to be coming out right after Daredevil, like the week after. So you're basically going to have all of the Daredevil episodes run, and then the week after you'll have Punisher's special launch, and then like pretty much not long after that anyway, we'll be having the Spider-Man movie, which Punisher's featuring in. So that universe is very big right now. The street level New York universe part of Spider-Man is as part of Marvel is big right now. Which is great. We love that. It's so nice to see it connecting in that way, and seeing this character who is in a TV show like Daredevil, then his own TV show, then back in Daredevil, and now coming away from Daredevil, having a special, and then going to have a cameo in like one of the bigger movies, like a portion of acting in the larger movie is interesting. Seeing Punisher kind of go the distance is really cool. So hopefully this kind of keeps up, and we see that kind of street level and higher level tier of stuff kind of start to mash and mix and percolate. There you go. So yeah, that's obviously going to be launching. That was shown. I think people are really excited to see where Punisher's been and what Punisher's been up to. And what'll be nice is that even if maybe he's tamped down for the Spider-Man movie, which of course he's going to be to a degree, he won't be for this. So it's going to be like nice to get that dose of what Punisher is typically like, and then see what he's like in the Spider-Man verse. And hopefully they kind of try and keep it feeling the same, even if they kind of cut away, or they kind of have Spider-Man kind of step in to stop Frank, etc. So that's good news, exciting news that it's going to come right after. It's going to keep us kind of ticking over. It feels like Marvel's really ramping up this year now for a lot of fun stuff. So that's great. And then Daredevil itself, first episode of the new season has come out, and I think they hit the ground running. Of course, this first episode took a lot of time to establish all the different characters we have going on. We have obviously Karen, we have Matt, we have Fisk, we have his wife, we have the new Mr. Charles from Matthew Lillard, who's a really interesting character, actually. I want to see how that's going to pan out, because the first thing he sort of is linked with on camera is that he is somehow linked to or working for Valentina Valentina de Allegra Fontaine, from obviously Thunderbolts fame. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. What does that mean for Fisk? What does that mean for New York in this current juncture? So that's cool. And then, of course, we have the stuff with Heather and her kind of dealing with Muse and Swordsman. Obviously, he's still involved. So there's a lot of stuff going on within this show that is kind of needs to start turning again. So I understand why they took this episode to do that. Visually, I think this episode is really great. The camera work that they do on the two parts I want to talk about is actually Heather when she's sort of leaning into that Muse angle, and you see the camera kind of tilting, and you see it's almost kind of a reflection of her beliefs bending, her beliefs changing, altering, her moral compass skewing to kind of, because she's not happy with this vigilantism that's going on. And then the ones as well where the zoom ins on Matt when he's like, I love that kind of cinematography. People have been using it for sort of a meme element at the moment with the fact that like he like zooms in on something and people are saying like it's when I hyperfixate and stuff like that. But really good camera work. And equally, of course, as always, the little interspersed segments of like what's happening on like in New York. Obviously very important because it's showing New York as a character. New York is as important to the plot as any of the other players. So New York needs to keep being relevant to that plot. So lots of characters to kind of spin and momentum to kind of keep going for all these different plot lines. But the fact we're going to add more because we still haven't had Bullseye hasn't come back into it properly yet. We haven't had White Tiger show up yet. We haven't had Jessica Jones. And if there's any kind of surprise cameos or anything like that still to come, there's lots still to look forward to in this season. We've only had one episode and it seems kind of crazy already. Now, next week, we're getting 2, which is going to be, I wonder why they've done that. I wonder if there's something there that kind of feels stronger when together. We shall see about that. And then, yeah, it's kind of that thing of like, let's see where that story goes. I think the setup was quite fun. I think the stakes are quite high already. At the end of the first episode, we're kind of having a mirrored moment from when Foggy died in the beginning of the first season. We see in this second season that Cherry is kind of going through a similar moment. Whether or not Cherry dies, of course, we don't know, but the fact that he has this heart attack and the fact that he's like at this kind of crucible moment for Daredevil again, and he was at the last one as well, but it's a different angle because this time Bullseye saves Matt as opposed to sort of sends Matt on that darker path. So it's actually a very full circle moment right then. So that's going to be very fun to see how that paces out the rest of the season. Not so much lawyering as yet, of course, because Daredevil is he's not seen to be alive as yet. Matt isn't seen to be alive at the moment, should I say, and Daredevil is kind of the main persona at this juncture. But we do know from like some of the promo stuff for later episodes, we've got Fisk sort of outs the fact that Matt Murdock is still alive and sort of implies Matt Murdock, we have reason to believe he's alive, he's a hero. So let's see how that goes. Does he kind of force him back into the public domain in that way? And we'll see how that kind of pans out as well. So really very exciting times for Marvel. And to be honest, I think what's so gratifying about this is that once upon a time, I was saying to a friend the other day, I think, let's talk about the Spider-Man movie very quickly first, in that once upon a time, we wouldn't have even thought we would get Spider-Man, never mind Hulk and Punisher in a movie. And that was sort of where this conversation started. But once upon a time, we never thought we'd get Daredevil back, never mind having Jessica Jones back and also having them linked to like the movies. The movies is like, the movies are there in it now. Like that's there. That Valentina link is very, very important. That means that the shows are not being overlooked. They are fully integrated now. And that basically means that so much is now properly, like it was already, but like even more so movie canon now. And those links are what's so important to the MCU. And I feel like they're getting there again. It feels stronger. It feels like a lot of the stuff they're doing now, even if it's just small things like the villain, like Damage Control being overlapped, or if it's about Trevor showing up, or if it's about a small mention to Valentina, those things really do slightly mesh this universe better than it had been previously. A lot of the shows that were coming out didn't have that mesh, and so it felt lesser than. It felt not so C in MCU. Sorry, that's wrong. Not so connected. It's not so C in MCU. That's cinematic. I was thinking Marvel Connected Universe for some reason. To why that came in my head. I was thinking as I said it. So like not so connected in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It felt not so much the U in MCU, so to speak. Marvel Cinematic. It wasn't so much universe at certain points. That's what I was trying to say. That's what I was trying to get across. But yeah, so I think to me, this is a really fun moment for Marvel fans right now. And whether or not we get to the end of the year and that's the same, because obviously we've got Doomsday coming and stuff, whether or not we feel as strong about those as we're going through, who knows? But right now, very exciting times. Let's see how they pan out. This has been a very short episode, but I think it's gotten to the point of what I wanted to talk about. And, you know, if that's what you want to say and that's all you've got to say, then that's, you know, I've always believed that. So thank you guys for watching and listening and all that good stuff. As usual, we'll be back next week to discuss, is it Maul this week or is it Maul next week? Whichever way, we'll be back next week to discuss something. Definitely something. Whatever it ends up being. Thanks, guys, as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.